In this video, I'm going to be bringing the most realistic octopus top to life that's on the market with the most detail that anyone has ever seen. So stay tuned and you can judge yourself whether or not this octopus top truly does look like a real octopus. This is why Pacific octopuses are one of the hardest animals on Earth to recreate in art. Their skin isn't just smooth or colorful, it's covered in thousands of tiny muscles called papillae, and that lets them change texture, not just color. They can go from completely smooth to spiky and bumpy in seconds. They don't just blend into their environment, they physically become it. On top of that, their skin uses 3 different systems at the same time. One for color, one for light reflection, and one for brightness. So when I try to recreate octopus skin in silicone, I'm not just copying a pattern. I'm trying to copy a living surface that literally moves, reacts, and thinks. So I can't believe I did this, but yesterday I burnt myself with the heat gun while I was trying to soften the clay. Even when you've worked with a tool for so long, or tools in general, you still make accidents, and this is one of them for me.
This is how far I've gotten so far, and this is the only place I've started tentacles is down here and over here. Everywhere else, I'm still working on the detail. This has taken me a lot longer than I had planned for. However, that is the point. When you work on art, it's important to take your time, make sure it looks right. And even as an artist, you may look at something and be like, nah, this didn't work so well, and you'll go back and fix it. For example, I didn't create these little patterns yet, and I left it until I started getting more of these because I first want to see what these little things look like before I started here.
It's already dark, and this is what I've got so far. I still need to add some more detail here. This side's almost done. I just have to reattach this one because it fell off. Fix those guys. This side's almost done as well. I might touch up detail, plus I still need to add like the little middle dot and all those, but all in all, it's going pretty well so far. But only time's gonna tell, because once this is fully done, the next stage can make or break this sculpt, and I'll tell you why soon. So this sculpt is done, and this is what it looks like, but this next part is what can make or break everything: casting. When you cast in silicone, there are hundreds of ways for it to fail. Temperature, humidity, mixing ratios, layer timing. If any of those are off, the silicone won't cure. The layers won't bond, and all this work can be completely wasted. That's why silicone is one of the most hardest materials to master. And the real advice I can give you: start. Don't just learn silicone by watching videos. You learn it by ruining pieces, learning from your mistakes, and figuring out how to do it better on the next cast. This is the most satisfying part of the whole process. The sound, the slow peel, finally seeing the sculpt come free, it never gets old. But it's also one of the most stressful parts. In theory, silicone doesn't stick to clay. That's what makes this possible. But I've had molds rip before completely, and once silicone tears, there's no reset. If the rip happens on a smooth surface, you're always seeing that scar. With texture sculpts like this, sometimes you get lucky. This is the moment the project either works or becomes a very expensive lesson. And if you're wondering how long it took me to sculpt this piece, I'll tell you shortly. If you've ever wondered why Pacific octopuses are red while other octopuses can be instantly colorful, it's because red light gets absorbed first underwater, so being red actually makes them invisible at depth. Octopuses themselves are amazing, intelligent creatures, and the amount of detail that is embedded in their skin is just out of this world. So much that it took me 31 hours just to sculpt the shape and add all this beautiful detail. This just shows that you cannot force or rush art. Art does what art wants to do. And now, because of that time and that investment, this is now the most realistic octopus top that I've ever made, and I believe it is the most realistic octopus top that you can find currently right now, especially for a Pacific octopus. Now the real question is, do I like this top or my Caribbean Reef octopus top? And to be honest, I cannot choose, because one shows my artwork from the past and the skills I had to learn to be able to build up to this. And without the Caribbean Reef octopus top, this one would have never come to life.
Literally, look how realistic this looks. Bet I'd freak some people out if I went to the beach. And now by the end of it, I'm grateful that I went through it and I created this. And if you want your own Pacific octopus top, I do have it on my website down below. I will probably only be making pre-mades of these guys, maybe very few custom orders, because the amount of detail and the time it takes to just cast this also takes an amount of time. And I want to make sure that it includes all that amazing detail that you've seen in this video.